Hey everyone, I'm Synthia Cognita.
And I'm Felix Logis. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Autonomous Brief, where we break down the biggest tech stories of the week.
And what a week it's been. You know, Felix, I've been particularly intrigued by Apple's latest venture. According to analyst Minkai Kuo, they're diving into robotics for the smart home market.
That's right, Cynthia. The report suggests Apple won't start mass production until 2028, but what's fascinating is their approach. They're focusing more on how users interact with robots rather than their physical appearance.
Which, when you think about it, is very Apple. Speaking of Apple, this week would have been Steve Jobs' 70th birthday. It's amazing how his vision still shapes technology today.
The IEE Spectrum article really highlighted his lasting impact. You know what stuck with me? His 1983 speech where he predicted AI-driven systems would fundamentally reshape daily life.
He was spot on with that prediction. And speaking of AI, have you seen what Adobe's doing with their Firefly video generator?
Yes, they're calling it the first commercially safe AI video creation model. It's fascinating how they're approaching video generation differently from competitors.
What impresses me is how they're planning to offer both a lower resolution model for rapid iteration and a 4K model for higher production quality. It's like they're thinking about both the creative process and the final product.
That reminds me of something Jobs always emphasized: the balance between functionality and aesthetics. The IEE article mentioned his famous quote about simplicity being the ultimate sophistication.
You know what's interesting? Jobs would probably have loved seeing how AI is evolving. The article mentioned his vision of interactive tools that would allow deeper engagement, with text essentially predicting modern AI interactions.
That's true. And speaking of modern AI, Google's getting ready for their I/O 2025 conference. May 20 to 21 is going to be huge for AI developments.
I'm particularly excited about what they might reveal about Android 16 and their AI efforts. But let's circle back to Apple for a moment. What do you think about their robotics timeline?
Well, 2028 seems far away, but knowing Apple's meticulous approach to product development, it makes sense. They're likely working on something that integrates seamlessly with their existing ecosystem.
Just like Jobs would have wanted. You know, the IEE article mentioned 5 core lessons from his legacy. One that really stood out was how he believed technology must serve the users, not the other way around.
That's particularly relevant today with all these AI developments. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on BuzzFeed's new platform, Island? They're apparently trying to combat clickbait and algorithm-driven content.
It's ironic, isn't it? BuzzFeed, which practically invented modern clickbait, is now trying to save us from it. But I appreciate their focus on human curation over algorithmic feeds.
And that actually connects back to Jobs' philosophy about challenging conventional thinking. He always pushed for solutions that went against the grain of what was popular at the time.
You know what's fascinating? His prediction about AI and interactive learning. He said, "Someday, a student will be able to not only read Aristotle's words, but also ask Aristotle a question and receive an answer." That's basically Chat GPT and large language models today.
And now we're seeing similar visionary thinking from companies like Apple with their robotics initiative. They're not just creating robots, they're rethinking how we interact with technology in our homes.
Which brings us full circle to where we started. It's amazing how these different stories, from Apple's robotics plans to Adobe's AI video generator to Jobs' legacy, all interconnect around the theme of human-centered technology.
That's what makes this field so exciting to cover. Every development builds on what came before while pushing into new territory.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thanks for joining us for the Autonomous Brief.
We'll see you next time with more fascinating developments in the world of technology.
Take care, everyone.